For sports casuals tonight, we got big NFL news, some signings, some rule changes. We got some NBA games, just a couple, but some NBA games. And we got some NHL action and Ovechkin news. So let's get right into it.
The most important news of the day, the month, the year, probably the decade. Alexander Ovechkin has tied the record that most people thought was unbreakable. He now sits tied with Wayne Gretzky, 894 career goals on his wonderful career.
In one less game.
One less game. Wayne did it in 1,487 games. Ovi has done it in 1,486.
Crazy shit.
And he did it from his spot. One-timer on the power play. It was his 326th power play goal of his career, I believe. Right in that dot. One-timer. Great pass from Carlson. Right in the wheelhouse. Bang. Tied record. Bench clears. The boys mob him.
Gotta love it.
It was also his 41st goal of the year. He scored twice tonight. 40th and 41st. Making him the only person in NHL history to score 40 goals 14 separate times. No one's done it more than 12.
How many years has he been in the NHL?
This is year 20. He's had
14 for 20. Jesus.
Realistically, he should have broke the record like 2 years ago. His 18-year-old season was completely lost to a lockout, 0 games played.
Oh, shit.
The 2012-2013 season, lost half of it to a lockout. He played 48 games that year. And then 2 COVID seasons where they played 50 and 62 games in the 2 seasons. So this should have been a while ago, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, history, he's on the doorstep. He is on the doorstep. He just can't score in the next 2 games here. Otherwise, I'll be pissed.
You're going to miss out in Columbus. You're going to be in Columbus, Ohio for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
And I'm going to laugh at you. You're going to hop on the call for the show, and I'm going to be like, how's Columbus, Ohio, buddy?
Yeah, it's going to be lit. No, he's going to sign my jersey. He'll know I'm in town.
Oh, yeah. Carl with Sports Casuals, one question for you,
Ovi. In this game, though, the Capitals beat up on the lowly Blackhawks. John Carlson puts up 3 assists. The aforementioned Alexander Ovechkin, 2 goals. Hobie finalist, top 3. They announced that the other day. Ryan Leonard ices the game with his first career goal. Empty netter, but you know what? You'll take that first one, get the monkey off your back, and now it's just let's see what this kid can do. 8th overall pick in 2023, looking really, really solid for his career. And on a note for the lowly Blackhawks, former Gopher phenom Oliver Moore put up his first career assist and his second career assist. So he's looking like a buzzfest out there. He's from, where is he from? I think he's from like Mendota Heights. I think Mounds View, actually. Mounds View. But yeah, Gopher, Minnesota boy.
2 apples.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Kind of sucks that he plays for the Hawks, but you know.
Is that a big rivalry?
We don't like them. They knocked us out of the playoffs 3 straight years in the middle of their dynasty.
Patty
2
Kane.
of those years. Yeah, Patty Kane. 2 of those years they won the cup though, so it was like, if you're going to get eliminated by someone, you want to be eliminated by the team that wins the cup.
All right, now we're jumping over to the NFL for some talks, and we're starting it off with Julio Jones officially retiring after 13 crazy-ass seasons. Fantasy god. Just a dog out in Atlanta for a long time there. I'll read off the stats. 914 catches, 13,700 yards, and 66 touchdowns. Carl, what do you think about Julio Jones?
The first thing that comes to my mind when I think about Julio Jones is the NFC Championship against Green Bay in 2017 before the 28-3 game. He went for 9 catches, 180 yards, and 2 touchdowns against the most decimated secondary I've ever seen my Packers play with, and it was just so sad. The game started off 24-0.
Oh my
It was
god.
just, it was just Ryan to Julio, 20 yards, 20 yards, 20 yards, 60-yard touchdown. Like, fuck off.
They should
This
have a
guy,
ring from it. They should have a ring from that. And that's the game that I thought of was the 28-3 game. That's what I unfortunately for him, that's what I thought of first when I saw Julio Jones retire.
wasn't he rostered by the Eagles this year? Or was that last year?
It was I feel like it was this year no, it had to have been last year. I don't think he was on because he would have gotten a ring, I guess, but
Yeah.
I think
So
it had
he
to have
went
been
to
last year.
He went to the Bucks the year after they won. They didn't win it.
Oh.
And then he goes to the Eagles the year before they win.
He got shafted, dude. And then he was just in Tennessee for no reason, where you drafted him at 40th in fantasy, and you were like, bro, Julio Jones, bro.
Yeah.
What the fuck is... Wait, what? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? What the fuck? What the fuck?
If I do thumbs up again, will it make that
Dude,
again?
What?
What?
Julio Jones, fireworks for a great NFL career, man. Let's
First
get
ballot
it.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
There's not much you can say. He was just a dog.
Now switching over to some rule changes that have occurred in the NFL this offseason. They finally switched overtime to the same as the postseason switch that happened a few years ago. Both teams get a chance. Carl, what do you think this means for the NFL?
I think that's good. It for fantasy, it'll allow for a little bit of stat padding.
There we go.
So,
fantasy production.
Your wide receiver, their team gives up a touchdown, they need to go downfield.
It's going to see down every time.
See a couple targets.
I love that.
I don't have much to say on this. This should have been done originally, in my book. But good to see them get it right.
Yeah. Well, I saw Colin Cowherd talk about this. Something he brought up was more chance for injuries. Like, I don't want to see my defensive guys have to play another 14 downs. Well, the issue is one defensive team is going to be playing 14 downs, even with the one team scoring. So you might as well just even it up. If one team has to get injured, let's all get injured. Let's all get ACL injuries on the shitty NFL turf.
Absolutely.
But the other rule change is the tush push. I hate that name. That sounds so ridiculous, but could be banned.
That name actually originates from the 2008 NCAA championship. Reggie Bush for USC against, I think it was either Notre Dame or Penn State. I believe it was Notre Dame. Lined up at like the 3 and snap, handoff Bush. They brought a wide receiver back in, I believe, and got a couple people behind him, pushed him into the end zone. And so, yeah, it's not actually the tush push. It's the Bush push.
Yeah, well, either way, they've been talking about banning it for a few years now. There's been no decision at the latest team meeting last I saw. But do you think it's going to get banned? Do you care? Your team is the one that threw it out there. So do you, as an owner, do you support the team?
We've actually defended it well. I think our CEO, he's a former linebacker. I think he's just looking at this purely out of like player safety concern. Like, and also the fact that it's never called properly for a illegal formation. Like, the guards are always right on the center, and they just never call it. So like it's a safety issue. The refs never call it right, so the play is never actually a valid NFL play. So I see where it's coming from. We haven't been fucked over by it. We've played them 3 times since 2022, and we've stopped them on most of them. And actually, in the last playoffs, they knew that we've been stopping them, so they did a fake, and we stopped that fake as well, where they threw it downfield. So like, it really doesn't affect my team. It just affects the Buffalo Bills, who can't stop it and run it wrong.
I know. Well,
Um,
that was what I was going to bring up. Sean McDermott was saying to take it out, but the funny analytic that they put up was that the Bills are the team that use it the second most behind the Eagles. And he was trying to
yeah,
make this big old thing about the player safety. Like, you fucking run the play too, dude, just
yeah.
less
I feel like
efficiently.
the Bills more run like a true conventional QB sneak.
Yeah.
Like you get Allen going through the B gap, like taking a step and going, not actually
Yeah.
getting pounded on.
Yeah, I wonder
But
if they count that towards like the tush push stat that I just said, because if that's the case, that's kind of a Mickey Mouse stat.
I think people do just because they want to rag on the Bills.
Yeah, that makes sense then. Well, that'll wrap it up for super exciting, but no fireworks in this one, but super exciting NFL news.
Some quick news from the Arizona Cardinals. They extended Trey McBride 4 years, $76 million.
Historical contract,
Yeah, biggest in tight end history for the NFL.
which you didn't even
Uh,
believe, and it doesn't sound believable if I'm being honest. Sounds kind of low.
yeah, I don't know if the money was like it was when like Gronk and Jimmy Graham were going off, it would be like 10 million shy probably. But good for him. 19 mil APY. Like to see that. Get the money in the bank there. I don't. Arizona's kind of a bad team. They
Doesn't really move the needle.
no. Good on them. They get to keep their dog,
Yeah.
but eight
Fantasy
and nine
points.
fantasy points. He's
Early
a
tight end draft pick. Probably a third rounder, fourth rounder,
yeah.
second rounder if you're stupid. But doesn't move the needle for the Cardinals. They're finishing last in the division, most likely. Unless, I don't know. They're going to draft some crazy shit. Where do they even pick? Probably have a top 10 pick. After looking into a crazy deep Wikipedia search, we have figured out that Geno Smith signed an extension with the Raiders. We weren't sure if it was like a contract signing, but max extension with the Raiders. This is called Sports Casuals for a reason. 2 years, $85 million. And in the note, I put LMAO next to it because this contract is fucking laughable. I don't know where you think you're going to go if you're the Raiders with this. I can name Jacoby Myers as their receiver, Brock Bowers, and nothing else. So I'd love to see what the Raiders have in store for this year.
Probably another top 10 pick.
Oh, yeah. Who are they picking next year then?
Arch Manning.
Fuck it. Well, that leads us into asking the question, if Shedeur Sanders falls to 6, do you see the Raiders picking him?
Could definitely happen. I don't love Shedeur as a prospect. I don't think he's going to be the greatest quarterback. I think he's really benefiting from a weak quarterback class to have this type of draft capital possibly thrown into him. So it would be very on brand for the Raiders to take a quarterback that I believe is terrible.
I'm in the middle with Shedeur because on the one hand, it's like there's nothing that jumps out crazy, and he played at Colorado. They had like kind of an easier schedule, but he had a terrible O-line, and so he was facing pressure all the time, and his ability to get out of the pocket and just be uncomfortable. It's not like at Ohio State when you just have a bunch of 5 stars guarding you.
Yeah.
There's something to that, but superstar number 2 pick.
Was it
It's
true
tough.
pressure, or was it him holding the ball for 3.5
Okay.
seconds that gets to him? And then
I don't
he's gotta-
know. I don't know because we're casuals, so I have no idea. And
you can answer
probably
that in
don't
the
have any
comments down below.
idea. Yeah, tell us the facts. On this show, we want you to tell us what happened and what to think.
Yeah, there's got to be someone out there who watches Colorado ball.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, let us know.
Well, that'll wrap it up for NFL conversation today. Stop. You cannot be putting fireworks off for this performance that the Suns had today. I made the mistake of trying to watch the Phoenix Suns play basketball versus the Celtics because it was the only game my TV would let me watch. And I had to watch Bradley Beal go 0 for 7 and score 1 point in his return. This game sucked. The Suns are terrible. This team, time to blow it up, I'd say. They ended up losing 123 to 103 by 20. Do you have any care about this game? Do you care at all?
Who is Royce O'Neal?
He's been around for a couple of. He's probably been around for a while, but he's been a rotational piece on the Suns. He wouldn't be if they were a really good team. He'd probably still be on the bench and getting some minutes. But man, he's been starting games for them. Last year he was starting games versus the Timberwolves, I believe. It's rough in Phoenix. I think they shouldn't have moved off of Ayton and Bridges. I loved that team when they had Chris Paul, Booker, Mikal Bridges, and Ayton. And Cameron Johnson. They had it and they were in the finals. And they blew it up for KD and it just did not work. It completely backfired.
Yeah, not a great trade. Not a great managerial team they got there.
It's tough.
Jason Tatum officially back. Unfortunately, my prediction from a couple weeks ago will not come true. But good to see him not dead like he was acting like he got shot with a 50 cal.
I forgot about that.
So good for him. Tingus Pingus got elbowed in the face and he was bleeding everywhere.
It was a UFC fight, like Nate Diaz after round 5, walking with his arm up in the air, blood everywhere. Not actually that bad, but he did get smacked in the face, and he didn't play the rest of the game probably because the Suns suck, like I said, but he had to sit out, and he's got a little slit there, so...
Got a little shiner.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. The last talking point there for this game is Jaylen Brown putting up a crazy efficient 31 points. I like Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, he's a good player. He seems like an ethical.
That's a great analysis on Jaylen Brown. He only took 16 shots for 31.
I think he has a course that he does at MIT.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. I remember him coming in the draft when we passed on him for Chris Dunn. Or no, did we take Chris Dunn a pick after him? We were right there. Not sure, but I remember him talking about liking chess for some reason. So, what a smart guy, an efficient basketball player. And that brings us to our final NBA game that we're talking about today because we had to record early and shit and can't cover the Warriors Nuggets. So, Thunder versus Rockets. The Rockets get a big upset win to bring the series in the season 3-2, which 4-1, it's like, you got no chance. 3-2, anything could happen in the playoffs. So, they got a big win. What do you think about this game, Carl?
I noticed that Shea only got 2 free throws.
2 free throws attempts, and he only dropped 22 points. Is it a coincidence, or is he just kind of not average, but just a solid? Is he just a solid guy without the free throw attempts? Is he a merchant?
Yeah, I think he gets a little bit of bail.
A lot of bail. He gets a lot of bail. We don't like the Thunder here. Yeah.
A lot of bit of bail. Chet Holmgren. 6 of 8 from 3, 20 points. That's crazy for a 7-footer.
Minnesota native.
We
don't have much here. We have to celebrate what we have. Sengun and Jalen Green both went for 30-plus points in this game. The Rockets laid it on them.
Well, today, the Wild played the Islanders in Long Island, and it looked like it was going fine. We're out shooting them 11-6 after 1. Zuccarello comes out and scores a crazy goal from behind the net. He banked it off of Sorokin's head. Ends up in the back of the net. Very beginning of the second period there. And it's like, all right, we're out shooting them big, and now we got a lead. Let's expand on this. The next shift after the goal, just bad hockey all around, tie game. The next shift after that, Islanders take the lead. They don't look back. They extend the lead to 3-1 with a power play goal in the third on a not great penalty by Trenyan. He got hit, and as he was going down, he whacked the dude in the face with his stick. Can't be doing that. We can't score, and you're sending us to the penalty kill, and you're one of our penalty killers in the third period. It's just every single night it's been looking like that. We've been down 1, take a penalty, give up a power play goal, game over.
Can't have shit in Minnesota, man. Another first-round exit for our Wild coming up.
Possibly. But we did get some good injury news. Kaprizov has been doing full contact practices, and it's looking like there's been speculation from Michael Russo at The Athletic that he will return versus the Sharks on Wednesday, April 9th.
So we have some life.
We could have some life. Eric Sinek is probably out until the final regular season game, unfortunately. Don't like that, but he doesn't need to ramp up time. He's an absolute gamer. Scary situation here with Middleton in the second period. He got hit about 5 feet from the wall and went headfirst into the boards.
Jesus
Did not
Christ.
return to the game. He was able to go off on his own power, but hoping that he just had the wind knocked out of him and maybe, I don't know, he probably broke his clavicle or something though. But that does open the door for Zeev Boyum to step right into the lineup when we do sign him after the Final Four. He's standout prospect playing for Denver right now. He was just named as one of the final 3 Hobie finalists, along with Ryan Leonard and Isaac Howard. Touched on Leonard earlier tonight. And yeah, he's just a winner. He's won 2 straight gold medals at the World Juniors. He's won the NCAA championship last year, and his team is one of the Final Four standing this year. And he's an absolute god on the power play. He's what this team needs. Him plus Kaprizov getting inserted on that power play, it's going to turn it from a snooze fest to an absolute lamplight and juggernaut.
Are we going to have the Stanley Cup come to Minnesota?
Probably not.
Have we won a Stanley Cup? I don't think we have we? What?
No. The North Stars lost to Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr in '93.
Can't have shit, Minnesota, man.
Can't have shit. That was the last time a Minnesota sports team has been to the championship for any league.
God damn. 93.
Minnesota's Lynx. Now we're going to talk about the Hurricanes and Red Wings. Hurricanes came into this game 12-2 in their last 14 games. They've been on a heater since tail end of the Rantanen saga, and definitely a heater since they got rid of him. So hopefully his locker room cancer spreads to Dallas and hurts them a little bit. But they fell tonight 5-3. Not a terrible game. They just did not get the goaltending they needed. Generally, if you score 3 goals in the NHL, you should be in a fine spot, but not tonight. Cam Talbot played fine for Detroit. Not a great game, but not a bad game. Patrick Kane scored his 20th of the year, bringing him up to 53 on the season. He just keeps on trucking. This guy. There was a lot of talks when he got drafted, like, oh, he's too small. He's not gonna be able to translate to the next level. And he's got 1,000 points and a couple extra 100 to go on top of that. So, speaking of small guys that got written off in their draft year, Jackson Blake, he's been very, very good in very limited ice time for the Canes this year. He's playing about 13-30 per night, scored his 15th of the year tonight, and he's up to 31 points. He's not going to get talked about for the Rookie of the Year at all, nor does he really deserve to, but that is a very, very solid foundation to start your NHL career on for the son of a former player.
That'll wrap it up for Sports Casuals tonight. Big show, Ovechkin news, NFL news, NBA games. Regular season's coming down to it, so if you want to stay caught up in the latest sports games and what's going on and get the most casual takes about it, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good night, everybody.